everybody. Welcome to the NRS C-Store Insider Podcast, where we bring you the information, the things that you need in order to make your business more effective. I'm the host, Darren Hyman, and I'm glad to have you with us. And as always here on the show, what we try to do is we bring you the things that you need to know in order to make your business more effective. Some questions that you may have asked, we answer them right here. And we try to give you the tools and the resources. And so today we're doing just that. Today we're talking about panic alarms. And if you want to know a little bit more about it, got two very special guests. First of all, I'm going to bring Ellie Katz on. And Ellie, before we bring Dominic on, I want to get an opportunity to talk to you because when we talk about these panic alarms, a lot of people around are really concerned about the issue of security. I mean, we're seeing more and more people across the city being vandalized, stores are being robbed, and you guys designed this panic feature to really help businesses out in a time of crisis.
Absolutely, and great to see you, and I hope you're doing well and families well. So yes, you mentioned the two great words, which was tools and resources. And you know, we created this POS system specifically to give the tools and the resources to these independent convenience stores all over the country to not just compete in the marketplace, and that constantly changes, but to thrive and to level the playing field against some well-funded let's call competition, whether that competition is by digital on an app or brick and mortar as far as a corporate America. And we've been doing very well. We have over 20,000 point of sale registers coast to coast. So we've been helping a lot of merchants. But during the pandemic, and you as a person who lives, eats and breathes New York knows this, but it's not just unfortunately in New York, it's across the country.
Right.
What's happened is these independent convenience stores have become low-hanging fruit for crime, right? Easy in, easy out, not a lot of people, right? Same reason why people are shopping in these places during the COVID pandemic. Easy in, easy out, not a lot of people. So it's become, unfortunately, a place that people target. And these merchants, who a lot of them behind the counter are the owners, the HR director, the employee of the month, the head janitor, and everything in between. But they're all hardworking individuals that are just trying to pay the bills, make a better life for themselves here in this country, and feed their family. And to have their basic needs of safety, in jeopardy is something that I recognize right away, and is the reason that we came up with this patented, by the way, it's unique to National Retail Solutions, panic alarm. And Dominic, who you're going to meet in a minute, who's our #2 guy in technology at National Retail Solutions. He's a very, very talented individual. He combines both business development, practical street knowledge, and technology, and was able to get this thing up and running fast. And we did a great beta test in New York, and now we're rolling it out to the entire country.
Well, I want to bring Dominic on. He's Vice President of Engineering, and then also, Vice President of Engineering at NRS. And so I want to talk to you about this, Dominic. First of all, congratulations on getting this done. I think that it's important to have businesses literally armed with the best possible help in a time of potential crisis. But if I'm a business owner out there and I'm saying, how does this actually work? How does the panic alarm work? Because it's pretty unique.
Right, and thanks for having me. Yes, as Ellie said, it is a unique implementation. We've done something, sometimes we call it a silent alarm even. It's completely integrated into our POS system, and it's invoked part of the process of opening the drawer, the cash drawer, which we assume is part of the robbery sequence. So it's very low visibility to the perpetrator, but at the same time, the cashier can follow instructions and still call for help.
Yeah. So if I'm a merchant and I have this, how do you guys go about really walking them through understanding how this feature is going to work and how it's going to help their organization?
Sure. It's very simple, but NRS takes it very seriously that the onboarding of the customer and their staff is very important in the proper operation of the silent alarm, of the panic alarm. And so what we do is first we explain to them what's going to happen. There's no audible feedback, for example, and train them in the invocation of the button. And we practice with them and make sure that the alarm is configured properly and the proper emergency services or police will be called for that location.
So if I have the panic alarm, talk to me about this here, because if I don't have the panic alarm, let's talk about if I'm an NRS customer and I don't have the panic alarm, who's the feature actually available to? Is it available just to NRS customers?
Yeah, this is implemented on the NRS POS system. So yes, it's only available to our customers. Currently, we've been trialing it, as Ellie mentioned earlier, in New York and New Jersey, and we're making plans to roll it out nationwide.
Yeah. Big question, cost. Talk to me about how much it's going to run somebody to have this alarm system connected to their POS system.
The cost is very nominal. It really, they're part of the ecosystem already when they have our point of sale register, and there are a bunch of features and packages that are available to these merchants. But it's way below the cost of getting an alarm system, and way below the cost of getting an alarm system with a panic button. So yes, it's not it's not a full-blown alarm system. It's a panic button, and Dom said it right. It's so low visibility as far as when the person is being asked to open up the drawer, all they're doing is following instructions, pushing the button, opening the drawer, and sending a silent alarm at the same time.
So if I'm a merchant out there, I might be thinking about this. I'm saying, listen, you're talking about a panic button, talking about an alarm that's really going to be good. The first thing that comes to my mind is like, okay, electrician, wiring, stuff like that. What's needed on the part of electrical? Do I have to, have special wires? Do I have to have a special configuration in order to be ready to receive this alarm if I want it?
The panic alarm is leveraging the infrastructure that we already have in place for the POS system, and in particular, that's the software that we have running on our POS, and the internet connection provided by the merchant. So that's will communicate back to our monitoring service company. So there's no extra wiring that's introduced with the service. We can turn it on as soon as a customer would enroll in the panic alarm subscription.
So if I'm a merchant out there and this is what I want to do, walk me through the process. How easy is it? How long does it take for me to get set up and get in?
It's pretty simple. First thing we do is ask the merchant to kind of inquire about it, indicate their interest, and that's something that allows our salesperson to have a much more in-depth conversation like we're having right now about kind of how it operates and what they could expect to happen. Make sure that they're convinced this is the right solution for them. Upon doing that, they enroll in the subscription. We have an electronic signature for the monitoring agreement. That's a formality of monitoring services. And we provision the service, and then we test as I mentioned before, we educate them and test that it's working first. And I hadn't mentioned before that periodically we'll test with the customers to make sure that their staff remains trained and that the alarm function is working properly.
In my business, I might have a door alarm, and in my business, I might have, fire alarms. And I got to ask the question now about, these two coexisting, because is it in conflict, if you will, to have the panic in the door or to have the panic in the fire alarm? Give me a little walkthrough on that.
Yeah, there's no conflict. This is really a supplemental alarm service meant to the services that you already previously described. So there's no conflict, but at the same time, we don't currently provide those other services like fire or burglar.
So if I do press the panic button, I'll let Ellie come in a second. If I do press the panic button, then how do you get to the place of determining the responding party? So
this is a very interesting part. So I should have mentioned this too. Very early on in the enrollment process, we review the address of the store. Again, even though that's part of our records and all, it's because that location is used by the monitoring service to map to the right police precinct. And so, for example, in New York City, there's precincts galore, and we need to make sure we're directed to the right precinct. Other communities may not have the density that New York has, and it's not as critical, but still we want to map the location to the right police department. And that's the function that the monitoring service provides.
You know, Ellie, I think this is a good way of saying that, you know, you're actually bridging the gap here, because there's a lot of people out there that really are dealing with this issue, a lot of concern out there in the communities right now, because let's be honest. I mean, crime is at an all-time high. And when we talk about one of the easiest places that are targets, bodegas and convenience stores are right there at the top of the list, seeing a lot of action. So this does do bridge the gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, sadly, 100%. So, but yes, we should just know that we're not the monitoring device. We part in the monitoring portion of the alarm system. We're the front end technology. We've partnered with a reputable back end monitoring company that has a footprint nationwide that deals with thousands of different alarm companies. And that's how, like, these stores, many of them don't have these other products that you mentioned, have the ability to add additional features if they want to.
Yeah. And so, Dominic, what is it that you like most about the product?
I'll tell you, it's a lot of what Ellie has been saying is day to day, we work on features that help merchants sell products and so forth. But this is a really different type of feature that helps the overall safety of the individuals that are our customers. And it's really nice to be able to work on something that has such a positive benefit to our customers. I know the circumstances are not so nice, but the value to the customer is high.
Yeah. Before we go, let me ask this question. If I'm a store owner, right, and I'm at home, the panic alarm is invoked. Do I get that alarm at home, or how do I go about that?
Okay, that's a good point. The way we're set up is the monitoring service is going to dispatch police first, no matter what. That's our rule. We optionally provide the capability for a store owner who might be home, as you said, and to get notified. But just to be clear, that's done after the police are dispatched, and it's a kind of a follow-up notification service. It's not meant to be part of the initial response.
Okay. Ellie, last word, man. What do you want us to know?
No, we appreciate it. And obviously, anyone who's interested can always go to nrsplus.com. nrsplus.com is our website where they could find a lot of resources and information on how to join the National Retail Solutions family, as well as if they're already part of the National Retail Solutions family and they have one of our products, they can go there as well to see how they could add additional features. Including if they have our POS, they can go on their POS itself and add additional features and request this one or request more information about this one. There's a button in there that they can just quickly toggle on.
Ellie, Dominic, we're going to leave it there, but thank you. Great work in terms of really bridging the gap there. I use the word bridging the gap because there is a huge gap out there that needs to be filled, particularly when these businesses are going through, sometimes don't have the right access. But you guys have come up with a solution, and that's the panic alarm. If you want to find out more, as you said, go ahead to NRS, find out about the panic alarm and that and a whole lot more. That's what we do on the C-Store Insider podcast. We get you the resources, the tools that you need to make your business more effective and the things that you need to know. And unfortunately, in a time like this, yeah, we do have to have these kind of alarms. But as Dominic said, you can get tapped in and get your business armed and prepared. All right, I'm Darren Jaime. I've been your host. And listen, come back, check us out on the C-Store Insider podcast. We continue to bring you all the stuff you need to know for NRS. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.